Hey there, XRP traders and investors. It's Rod with the Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Thursday, December 26th. Hope you're well. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the XRP price chart. We're going to be discussing a potential 50% correction, and then could XRP go all the way to $19? We'll discuss all of that and more in this video. Before we do, make sure to smash like. It helps support me in the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future content. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And you should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. And full disclosure, I do own XRP. It's my largest crypto holding by a country mile. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. I know it sounds a little strange to say a 50% correction in a bull market, but this has happened multiple times, which we'll look at in just a moment on the chart. Back in 2017, it actually pulled back even more than 60% during a bull market. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment. If you haven't seen my video as well, 4 major reasons why I think XRP is going to $14 to $16 this cycle, that's USD. Everything I mentioned is in USD. The reason why I think this is because of these 4 major reasons. If you haven't seen that video, you got to check it out. And then if you haven't seen my XRP sell targets and exit plan video, you also have to check that out. It's I'm getting a lot of great feedback on that one. 224 likes, almost 4,000 views. And I'm going to be looking to take profit soon. My first take profit level is approaching. So again, you can check out that video to learn more. And if you haven't already bought a self-custody wallet, make sure you take advantage of this right now. Tangem, my favorite hardware wallet, not your keys, not your crypto. So if you leave it on an exchange, they control the keys, the private keys. So it's not technically your crypto, and you could be susceptible to any kind of hack or any kind of network congestion, or the website goes down, or anything at all can happen, right? Any kind of hacks. So you have to make sure, or it could just go completely belly up like some exchanges like FTX, right? So you want to make sure you're custodying your own crypto. Best way to do that is Tangem. So check out Tangem. They have a dope new ring as well. You can get the ring. If you lose the ring, you have the 2 cards as a backup, or you can get the 3-card set. And if you lose one, you have 2 other cards. Very cheap. You can use code POW, POW, to get 10% off. And like I said, take advantage of that $20 free shipping. So best wallet, easy to use. Some people say it's so easy to use, it's not even funny. They think they're doing something wrong. And yeah, very cheap and safe and secure. So you can see the whole market's pulling back right now. And obviously XRP has been pulling back with it. So a lot of people are expecting a Santa Claus rally into the end of the year. I was in the camp of thinking that we should see some sort of rally into the end of the year. But as of right now, it's just tightening up, and we could see another leg down. Actually, we're seeing a descending triangle here on the daily chart. So the daily's not looking too hot. The weekly's looking fantastic, though. You can be bullish on the weekly and the monthly time frame and be bearish on the lower level time frames like the daily or the hourly, right? So as of right now, we have less than 1 hour. We've got about 52 minutes left in this daily candle as I'm making this video. And you can see we do have a descending triangle forming, which is just a series of lower highs and a horizontal line of support using the real candle bodies. And what you would notice about this pattern is it usually breaks to the downside. So in an ascending triangle, which if we just invert the scale and the chart, you can see this would be an inverse head and shoulder, or sorry, an inverse ascending triangle. So you would have a higher low, a series of higher lows, and then a horizontal line of resistance. Whereas in a descending triangle, that's a bearish continuation pattern. You have a series of lower highs and a horizontal line of support. Just shows that each high is getting lower and resistance is getting stronger, and the support line here, the horizontal line of support, is getting weaker. And as of right now, as you can see, if we close out of this pattern, that would be the first time since this descending triangle began. So we want to get back above, close back above 220, even 221. As of right now, like I said, we got about 51 minutes left, and we're set to potentially close out of it. And then you just get your measured move here by going from the apex. So the measured move would be saying about $1.78. And if we take a look at the daily time frame here as well, we have the 50-day moving average at 177, which, as you noticed on these charts, right, as I've been pointing it out, and as you probably noticed, we usually gravitate back towards them. So if we get extended to the upside, we come back down, we test it as support. We get extended to the downside, we come back, we test it as resistance. And look how extended to the upside we got. More than likely going to come back and test it as support at some point soon. That'd just be healthy. And look at that level. It's right at 177, which matches up with that 178 descending triangle bear flag target. Descending triangle target, not bear flag. So the fact that we're seeing, the daily time frame the weakness here is not a huge cause of concern in my opinion. I think we could be heading up to that $12 to $14 mark. I think is the most likely scenario at some time between now and February and March. We have so many catalysts coming, right? We have the new administration coming in, crypto legislation. That's going to be a priority in 2025. So stablecoin legislation, Fit 21, Ripple lawsuits probably going to come to an end. We're going to see XRP ETFs. I Trust Capital posted about that. We should see them soon. And then we should see Ripple IPO in 2025, partnerships, SBI going live. There's so many things to look forward to. But as you can see, in 2017, when we pulled back here from that local high to the local low, and it was almost the same scenario there where we almost had a weekly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, but we fought it off and we ended up seeing higher highs. And that was on the fifth and final wave. But look at this, when we broke out of this symmetrical triangle and then we broke out past the all-time high, we came back down and tested the highs of 2014. Similar to what we're doing right now, we broke out of the symmetrical triangle and we're pulling back, testing the 2021 highs. So this is a similar scenario right here. But look how much we pulled back. Just in the initial surge, we pulled back about 63%. And then we saw wave 3 before the fifth and final wave. But in that third wave after that, in the correction, wave 4 correction, we pulled back about 68%. So you can absolutely pull back 50, 60%. And we mentioned this on the Martin Lucas investor interview that I did, and Sensei Crypto appeared on that as well. And we talked about how we could potentially see a 50% correction, which that's very possible. And like I said, in these two instances here, we pulled back about 63% and 68% respectively, but then we continued to trend higher from that, right? So when something shoots up, 14x, 1,000%, 2,000%, you need to expect a 50, 60% correction. It's crypto, right? So again, if we go to where we are on the chart today, we have now pulled back about almost 35% from the high there at 290. And we almost hit new all-time highs. As of right now, it's just a nice weekly higher low forming. And we could even backtest EMA 12 there on the weekly, which is sitting at $1.63. So a 50% correction would bring us back to around about $1.45. So that is very possible that we see that pullback, right? Especially with this descending triangle. We also have the 50-day moving average there at 177. And we also have the 10-week moving average at $1.58. So again, that $1.50 to $1.45 area would be about a 50% correction. But again, I don't think it'd be the end of the world. And I think that it's very possible that we see that happen before we see XRP really take off into the new year. And once we get the new administration in, potentially no tax on American issued crypto as well. So there's so many catalysts. But one thing I wanted to show you here, this happened to Ethereum. So when Ethereum, we'll bring up that chart, and I mentioned this in the Power Group private community today, that look what happened. The very same thing is repeating right now on XRP that happened on Ethereum when the price went from about $600 in 2020 to almost $5,000 in 2021. And what that was the weekly moving averages crossing bullish. So you can see here the 50 and the 200 weekly moving average crossed. And then a few months later, so that happened in about December 2020, and then in March, April of 2021, that's when the 100 and the 200 weekly moving average bull cross happened as well. And then we saw tons of upside from there. Now let's bring up XRP, and that was about an 8.33% move, so 8.33x from the time the 50 and the 50 and the 200 weekly moving average bull cross happened. And if we bring up XRP USD here, same thing's happening. The 50 and the 200 weekly moving averages crossing bullish. That happened in around the end of November, December. And that means that it could happen, over the next 3 months, right? Again, on Ethereum, it happened in December, and then we topped around April. So again, that's lining up exactly with what I'm thinking is sometimes around March. Also, that's when we're going to see the ISO 2022 go live, is in March. Again, all lining up, that hype into that, right? And we're going to see alts go absolutely ballistic in my opinion. But as you can see, the 50 and the 200 weekly moving average bull cross, now we're looking at the 100 and the 200 very close to happening. We have the 100 weekly there at 64 and the 200 weekly at 67. So we're 3 pennies away from seeing that bull cross happen. And like I said, when Ethereum had its 50 and 200 weekly moving average bull cross, we saw little over 8 X from there. So about 833% from there. If we take a look at XRP from its bull cross, that was at around 230. 8.33x from there, or 833%, would be about a $19 XRP. So things are getting interesting. And again, if you haven't seen this video, 4 major reasons why XRP is going to $14 to $16 this cycle, check that out. You can also check out my exit plan, because it's just as important to have an exit plan as it is to have a buying plan, right? You need to know when you're going to start to scale out, because you'll start to make decisions and you'll end up not taking profits and then having to endure a bear market. So again, I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This is never financial advice. And everybody has to make their own strategy and make up their own plan. But if you want to take a look at mine, that will help you. And make sure you're taking your safety seriously at the moment in your security, because there's so many scams out there. It seems like when you're on YouTube, there's an ad, deep fake ad every 2 minutes of a different person that works at Ripple, and somehow all of them are co-founders of Ripple. I didn't know Ripple had like 20 co-founders because they're scams, right? So just make sure assume everything's a scam, and make sure that you have a hardware wallet. I totally recommend Tangem. Again, you can use code POW and go to tangem.com and take advantage of that $20 free shipping as well. All right, going in it there, let me know what you think of this in the comments section below. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with the Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Hope you have a great holiday, and we'll talk to you again soon.